Flagged. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, MSK, Yo Peace, and Omega.
So wow, this is crazy pre-talk. You know what good pre-talk is? Last of Us. We were just saying about MSK just caught up and watched the last two episodes back to back, which is crazy because that needs a breather.
I'm on Team Joel. I don't care what anyone says. I would do the same thing. I would fail after the second guy. He would get me real quick. I'll go.
Actually, I wouldn't pass. I wouldn't get past the first episode. That's just me.
Pretty much. I don't. Yeah. I don't get past the first incident. I'm zombie number 236 on the back left corner.
Listen, I don't get past.
I'm clicker 236.
I don't get past
clicker 236 in the back. No, but that scene, the last, not the last scene, but the Joel saving El scene, that's the moment, even though I didn't play the video games, that felt like it. That's the only moment that I really felt came from a video game. That him going down the corridor, taking everyone out, working his way to rescue her.
Well, you know what felt like a video game is episode 1 when he's in the pickup truck and they're leaving. That felt like a video game.
I didn't play the games. But I didn't play the games.
Yeah,
so I'm just saying
here to tell you that I play the game and that whole series is a video game.
Yeah, that's out of hand. That's
whole
incredible.
Series,
incredible.
It's a video game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go on a limb out here, and I'm gonna say this is for me the best adaptation to any video game ever.
Yeah, this trumps The Witcher. Yeah, ever. For sure. This is a very complete.
But the thing about The Witcher is that it was the whole book.
It's like
thing,
a book. Yeah, it's more like
it had the stories before as books, and then it became popular in the video game. I'm saying video game adaptation from a video game to a actual series or movie. This is hands down the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
I agree. Before I say my next statement, this is Omega.
Is that MSK?
Yo, peace.
And this is Fanatically Correct. And we're going to have some post-Oscars Andrews talk.
Andrews, post.
A little bit more Andrews. But finishing the point on Last of Us, where we were saying, and that last scene, that last moment, and Your Piece brought up early.
Wait, are you doing spoilers? I'm sorry.
Mic. Yeah, we're doing spoilers.
Last of Us. Spoilers. Ready to go. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
So spoiler alert.
That's the voice.
But yeah. So what point Yopi's made earlier about the scene before the final scene of the second to last episode when Elle rescues herself, which apparently is a deviation from the game.
Yes.
And when he hugs her and said, calls her baby girl like he called his daughter.
That was it.
That's what set up the entire following episode. And I also liked the way that he was already all in at the beginning of the episode, the way he was already talking about how his daughter would have liked her and that they're different, but like he's like really sharing with her that
that personal,
basically saying you're my daughter now. He's basically he's like all in telling her how he cares about her now and how he's accepted her. I mean, it's that bond
after
is
everything they've been through,
yeah, and it's the perfect setup because he's a father who's already lost a child once to extreme circumstances, the unbecoming
to a
others,
human, not even the actual pandemic.
To a human who shot at them. Exactly, that's what my point is, that he lost his daughter to other human beings doing the wrong thing. So at this moment, he wanted to hear anything about saving the world. He doesn't care about anything that has to do with her body being a cure. It's like, that's his daughter. He's not losing another one.
Yep.
It's that whole thing of, you can't guarantee. They pretty much painted as, I cannot guarantee that she's going to survive this. Well, then you guess what? That she's gonna survive this. There's no way around it.
And she wasn't given
like
a choice.
That's what he was, straight up a dad at that moment.
I also love, so in the beginning of the episode, they had the actress who played Elle, which I didn't know because I didn't play the games. But when I was watching, I was like, I started IMDbing right away because I'm like, she looks so much like the actress currently playing Elle. Like, they could be related.
That's what my wife said, actually. Yeah.
Well, obviously,
my wife said the same thing.
What's going on? Is that her mom? Like, what? Yeah.
Yeah. So I immediately started IMDbing because I'm like, are they sisters? Are they cousins? Or what's the story here? And what it is that she was casted, the actress from Game of Thrones, to play Elle because she looks so much like the original actress and the game version, and therefore they brought her back to play, her mother, giving birth to the beginning of the episode.
She was in growing
which
pains.
is a huge important scene. What was that?
She was in growing pains. Remember growing pains from your
when she was a baby
from your childhood? Oh, you know what? I actually remember her more from the Avengers. From the Avengers, she's the waitress running away, and Captain America saves her. You remember that?
Get out of here! You
That's her. No, I'm serious. Yeah, she was an extra in that movie.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So anyway, so how she came back for that, and that scene's important because it sets up understanding that this woman is obviously going to put everything, nothing before the world. In other words, her goal is to save the world, and so even though having that bond, saving her from her mother, being friends with her mother, and all that, she's still willing to kill her. Goes to show that for the parent concept, he's making the right decision, because it's like you're just, and he says it, you'll just come for her, and boom, and dude, as many people as he killed to get to that OR, when that doctor's like, I'm not letting you take her, and bam, it's just you're like, yeah, dude, that's a father who is not losing his daughter to this nonsense. I mean, it's just beautiful.
Not today, Satan.
And
not today.
Yeah, and such a simple ending with just tell me the truth. Is that really how it happened? Balls out, lies to her.
Okay.
Dead, looks in the eyes, and just, okay, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, she knows he was lying, though.
Knows.
She knows.
I think she knows he's lying, but if he's willing to, she's just going to go with it.
I can almost guarantee you she knows he's lying.
Yeah, she knows.
It's almost like...
Yeah, well, because you played the second game.
No. It's not even about playing the game.
You haven't played the second game yet.
I have not. It's not even about playing the game. I'm just saying, like, the way she carried herself on screen, it was like, she was like, yeah, okay. I believe whatever you say.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
I wouldn't be surprised if the second season starts with her like opening her eyes while the whole thing was going down and then her falling asleep or some shit.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I can see that.
So one more thing before we jump, and speaking because Last of Us comes from a video game, and one more thing before we jump.
Wait, cheapy plug.
No, I'm not. No. Actually, that's actually not what I was gonna do.
Come on, do it.
Wrong. That's not what I'm doing. I'll do that later.
Do it.
But no, just to keep. You guys seriously don't realize what I'm gonna do. Someone who is also in video games that we sadly lost the day that we're recording this episode right now, which is Lance Reddick.
Oh, man. Come on, bro.
You're gonna bring us down, bro. I prefer the cheap plug.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but
the cheap plug.
You should have done the cheap plug,
I'll get into
bro.
Fire Fest later. So, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure we, touch base on that and go over a few things. Personally, I'm going to get to catch some of his last work because I'm pretty sure he's going to be in John Wick 4. And I'm gonna catch that in a couple weeks.
He actually already filmed stuff for the spin-off series for John Wick. Yeah.
Oh, that's the one with Ana de Armas, ballerina. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking for that too. And I watched. You guys didn't watch it, and I don't think you ever gonna. But season 1, which I guess the only season now of Resident Evil on Netflix, which is awesome because he's a complete deviation from the character of what's his
Wesker?
Wesker, which is wild because we have one of our episodes is with DC Douglas, who actually voiced the original Wesker in the video games, but he played the role of Wesker on the Netflix series, which is awesome because there's all, since you guys are gonna watch it, spoiler alert, he plays multiple versions of Wesker. There's a whole clone situation, so he actually plays different versions. He had an opportunity as an actor to play different personalities, one that's shy and not so bright, and then a more confident version, and then like an outright the Wesker from the game, the trench coat murderous version. So there's different versions of him. It's pretty wild, but yeah, he's awesome. He's great in John Wick. I mean, you guys have other things I'll let you share that I haven't really seen as much in that he was in, to mention some of the other nerd culture things besides all the video games, and that's why I brought it up because I know he was in Destiny.
He's been in a couple of.
He's in a lot of games.
Yeah.
Horizon 2? Was it Horizon one of those games that video games?
Yeah, that's the mocap one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the one he did the mocap and everything. So he's actually like,
he had a great
game.
voice, man. Mm-hmm. What a great voice.
Yeah,
he did.
No, great acting.
He was in. What did you watch him on? Fringe? Was it Fringe?
I saw him on Fringe. I saw him on Fringe. He was Agent Broyles. Very awesome show, very sci-fi show, and he did great in that show. But I first saw him in The Wire. Obviously, he was great in The Wire.
That's where I first saw him as well.
Yeah,
it was in The Wire. I mean, he's one of those actors that actually did, like, he was in I want to say one of those out there actors where they're always trying to, steal a scene or anything,
right.
But his demeanor and the voice, the way he acted, he was still scenes all the time, like in a lot of things that I've seen from him. Especially in The Wire, he was like by far like one of my favorite top 5 characters in The Wire. So, man, rest in peace to Lance and obviously his family. That's hard, man. That's tough. Apparently he left. He left a couple of days ago. He left some type of scene, a movie that he was shooting or something. And I guess I'm only going to assume now from here on out that he probably wasn't feeling right at that moment, which is why he pulled out of that, whatever it was.
Yeah. He was only 60 years old, man. He was only 60 years old.
Which is a sad thing because that's kind of the common denominator with a lot of people. They don't feel well and they kind of just like, I'm just going to go back to the room and like, get rest or whatever, and then you have incidents occur. Like one of the few non-horror versions of that is Kevin Smith, actually, when he had his Widowmaker. That's like a big thing that he didn't feel right, and as opposed to just, I'm just going to go to my, and he said he had the urge to just do that. The urge to just go home and, go back to the hotel or whatever and sleep it off. He's like, nah, you know what? I'm just going to go to the ER just in case and save his life.
That's one thing I do tell people, like, especially like, and I'm not trying to get here into anything crazy, but for men, especially men, like we pretend that we know everything is okay. I just don't feel good or whatever. But like, you just never know, man. Like if you really, you know your body, and that goes for men and women and every other person out there. Like if you don't feel right, you know your body better than anybody. That's the bottom line. If you don't feel right, just go into the ER.
When you're in the head, so the viewers.
Are they viewers? I'm a viewer right now.
They're definitely viewers. I'm viewing.
Well, we're viewing each other. But so audience understands we're all Latin descent males, and that's a thing within our culture. Unfortunately, it's a big negative.
It's ridiculous.
That we're very denial, and just like un ibuprofen.
I haven't been to the hospital since I was born.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
That's how our culture is.
Wrong. You've been in the hospital since your kids were born.
Culture right
That's it. Births. MSK only goes to the hospital for births.
This man is living the culture for sure, bro.
That is the hardcore Hispanic culture.
I mean,
births and back.
I bet you one thing though. I bet you one thing. Andrews, he'll be all over that hospital at every single minute. If he had
Andrew for sure.
Andrew's
such a nice guy, that Andrew, man.
Andrew going ER, baby, with that pizza.
Come on, man.
With that pizza.
Listen, throw in that cheapy plug. Come on. We're talking about video games. Throw in that cheapy plug. We're here, brother. Come on. You can do it.
Go ahead. You can do it.
April 29th. April 29th.
April Saturday. April 29th.
It
at the
is.
Urban League of Broward County Community Empowerment Center. Fort Lauderdale.
There it is. Oh, there was a
Fighter Fest 5. We were talking about Saturday morning cartoons. I miss Kenny get in that, but I feel honestly like a lot of these fighter games up their game. When we were talking about this with Pete from Empire, Killer Instinct, man. That game, they need to reboot that. How they not reboot that game, because it took what Mortal Kombat started and then put that hype. It's like they
enhanced it.
Seriously, they took DJ Khaled, Flavor Flav, and like all the hype men, Lil Jon, like all the hype men into the voice of a video game, because all like combo breaker,
that's
like
awesome.
man, all that, like, and the fast pace of it and everything like that is just sick, and that's like from back in our day. When we was the youngins, I feel like that's what set up like all these like fighter game tournament stuff. Like, because even the Smash Brothers, that the pacing of that game is insane. Yeah, insane. Yeah. It's wild, and that's why that's why Mortal Kombat doesn't really do well in these like tournament setups, because it's actually too slow paced.
It is kind of slow. It is kind of slow. Which is why Street Fighter feels faster. That's. I love.
Oh, it's like hyperspeed
or
compared
even
to that.
Marvel versus Capcom was fast paced.
Yeah, they got a third one. That's just gonna be. I'm looking forward to. We're doing this Fighter Fest 5 thing with Flynn's Arcade and more, and Silverback Senpai who's mastering all the TOs and all the other TOs that are gonna be running all the individual tournaments separately. But I am looking forward to. We're gonna do most likely before the end of this year, 2023. We'll do Fighter Fest 6, and there's gonna be a lot of sixes in there. Fighter Fest 6. But yeah, because you're gonna have Street Fighter 6s coming out. You got a new Guilty Gear coming out. You got a new Capcom versus Marvel 3 coming out. There's actually new Mortal Kombat coming out too. But that $1 million prize for that Capcom Cup or whatever, that's wow. And that's one of the games, tournaments we're gonna have in there too. Is gonna be the new Marvel versus Capcom. So what you're
saying is I need to put my son in a room for days and years.
Seriously.
Months.
That, or he already plays Fortnite.
Yeah,
dude, Fortnite's already been doing like $1 million pods.
Yeah, he's behind with Fortnite though. Those kids are like started when they were 3.
Forget college. Fortnite.
Honestly, that's
student loans. No. Fortnite loans.
It makes money, man. Like I really don't blame anybody that actually tries to do any of these things. Makes money. Man, if we were growing up and we had the opportunity to play video games for money,
yes,
I mean,
yes,
it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, that would really piss off
that
my
complain about that.
Sure.
It's like I can tell people that complain about that are my age. Is like I can tell you were never a gamer to begin with because there's no way that you can sit there and say, I can't believe they're stuck in the room playing video. Listen, that pays that pays a lot of money nowadays.
That would be my career straight up. If I was one generation
tournaments
younger.
Can you imagine we had GoldenEye tournaments for $1 million?
Oh my goodness,
I'd be rich.
It's the thing is I would do that.
I think it would have turned into a real GoldenEye tournament. We would have gone around that room shooting each other for real for $1 million.
Of course,
for $1 million. Like, plug this game. Give me a Glock. Let's do this.
You mean I'm gonna see boxy people out there? That's all I'm gonna see. I got you.
What was that GoldenEye Mario Kart? Like our Mario Kart for $1 million?
Man.
Tetris tournaments. I would have killed in Tetris.
Yeah.
But you have to play it from the toilet.
Oh.
So like he with the worst hemorrhoids wins the $1 million.
I may need assistance getting up afterwards, that's for sure. Probably wiping my butt while we're at it.
But for $1 million, I mean.
But for $1 million, listen, I'll do it live. I'll show you what's happening live for $1 million.
Oh my god.
Oh man. So Andrews.
The Andrews. We're gonna talk about the Andrews. All right.
Here we are.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be pretty wild because now we're gonna speak post Oscars and see what they actually did. We did not watch the Oscars. We did like everyone else did. We saw clips. We saw highlights.
Highlights.
And we know who the winners are. We know.
We kind of predicted all of it, but
everything.
Except for one.
Yopis was very, very unsupportive of the actual possibility of everything everywhere all at once.
Well, you know why? Because the thing is,
because it's a wild movie. It's a wild movie.
The Oscars.
Yeah.
Listen,
they forgot.
That's what happened.
Forgot.
They
saw that movie. Like I said, they saw that movie early in the previous year. And
all they remember was Jamie Lee Curtis because then they gave her they snuffed a thing and they remember Jamie Lee Curtis was in it and they were like, let's give it to that movie.
They screwed over.
They did forget to write a note when they were taking their notes watching that movie and they wrote down incredible acting scene and dramatic scene with alternate reality with the
Jamie
husband,
Lee Curtis is
incredible dramatic scene with the daughter, and they were writing all these notes down. They forgot to write the note, do not give a word though because guy jumps on a thing with his anus in order to fight. Do not give a word because there's a whole room in the office with sex toy fighting, kung fu sex toy fighting. They lost those pages of those notes or did not make those notes because that is probably the wildest movie.
I can't believe it won. Yeah, you know what they're saying is that they're saying is that the Academy is also getting younger. Like they're letting in younger people in, like younger filmmakers and stuff.
14-year-old.
Yeah. No. I mean, like people that grew up with like anime and stuff like that. You know, so that makes more sense. But
yeah, it's wild. It's out of what they selected should have won. I mean, personally, and we can kind of go over like what because we just went over the Andrews in a way of it being what would we give out of what they selected, and I think we can make some honorable mentions of films we would actually picked. Going into that, and then we can go into the other categories. Personally, and then you tell me what you agree with and don't agree with. And I think that next year's Andrews is what we'll do. We'll each make a list. Whatever is on 2 lists, we'll make it to the Andrews list. And this is something that I think would be. So
but that means we all have to watch the same. At least top 5 movies that we're putting on the list, right?
Well, not necessarily. At least two of us, you know. And so, if at least 2 of us saw it, and we both agree that it should be on the list. But for the most part, for our list, it's gonna most likely be movies that all 3 of us, you know, saw, because we tend to go out to what we like, you know. And in fairness, that is the one thing I do like about looking at the Oscar nominations. That some of them are films that I might not normally watch. You know, at least 1 or 2 every year ends up being a movie that I probably wouldn't watch if it wasn't nominated. It interested me, you know, enough from what I saw of it after looking it up from the nominations that I'm like, you know what, I'll give that one a watch. And then you end up really liking it. But so the obvious ones that we all agreed with that, you know, should have gone on there was Maverick, which, you know, I personally gave an Andrew to, would have given the Andrew to. Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, All Quiet on the Western Front, which also won.
A lot. They won a lot, actually.
They won more than I expected them to win.
Yeah.
But then I remember the sound, that little jingle that they got in the song.
Yeah. That sounded like it sounded like Inception. That's what it sounded like.
Dude, let me tell you,
so
bro,
like
it's
a Nolan
catchy.
thing to it.
It's catchy. It's very catchy.
They gave it like a Nolan vibe. But actually, just a correction note on that, it was pretty amazing, because when I was digging into that, looking at after we spoke about it, that was actually originally an American film. 2 American films.
Yeah, I guess we had that wrong completely. Well, I have never seen the originals, to be honest with you. Like,
neither one
of them's like from the 30s or something.
Yeah, one was like 1930 something, and the other was 1979. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it eventually.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth doing it. This is the
no. I have
vibe.
to. I personally,
for world history, for when you're teaching world history to someone.
No, it's not even that. It's just I personally need to watch it. I cannot watch a movie that's been remade and not watch the original. It's so hard to like just let it be. Oh yeah, forget about the original. That's how people forget about these things. Like, that's how, you know what? That's how Jay-Z stole this song from Ice-T.
Yeah, from Ice-T.
He never gave pop to the original.
How did you reloop an off-cast conversation and drag that into here?
It's true, man. It's true, though.
I'm going to give props. That was amazing.
I heard that. I saw that video and I was like, what? So you're telling me JC's whole career?
Yeah, that's what happens.
It's a complete pre-show conversation. The chicken or the egg.
And it's from the 80s too. Like he wrote it like in 89.
That's funny. That's funny.
So now I'm gonna run off a few other movies. If I get at least 1 yay from either one of you, we'll make it to the Andrew list, and then we'll see if we still give it to Everything Everywhere All at Once after that. So we got those 4. The Batman.
Oh, it should have been nominated. I think it should have been nominated.
So, that's for sure.
So that's on the list. Okay.
And that needed to be in the category that the Avatar stole.
Cinematography, editing, a lot of things.
There's no way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we didn't find out until way later that they used the volume.
That freaked me out.
LED
when I saw
screens.
it on HBO Max. Yeah, when I saw on HBO Max the 15-minute short they did of the making, I was like, wait, what? This was off set. Like this was on a set. The Menu.
Yeah, I think it should have got nominated too. That one's really good.
Okay, so that's on the list. Clerks 3. I don't know if I'm the one
I haven't seen it. I haven't
seen it either.
Okay, so by default, it's not on the list. All right, so I'm going to remove that. Okay, Prey.
I haven't seen that either.
I think it should have gotten nominated. I think it told a very different story for the Predator. I enjoyed it. I
feel it's the same note that MSK made about Maverick. It was a film that had no business being that good.
Yes, it's one of those.
Because even compared to the original Predator film, but definitely compared to all the sequels, it had no business being that good. And especially as a Hulu exclusive, not even a theatrical version, which all the other junky sequels we've gotten of Predator were theatrical release.
theatrical, right.
I heard it ties very well to the second Predator.
It's very
with
good.
Danny Glover. Yeah.
It's very good.
Well,
It was-
the second and the first.
It was very
in
well
fairness,
done.
it kind of keeps everything more or less canon, but yeah, it's definitely a specific callback to the second film. There's a direct connection to certain things and that. So okay, so praise then stays. Glass Onion. This was actually an MSK also, so I already know that's a yay.
Glass Onion should have been nominated.
Sequel
I think
to
it got
Knives Out.
nominated for original
There was something.
screenplay.
I saw something
Yeah,
there
for
that got
screenplay.
nominated for.
Screenplay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I made the list.
I could say yeah for that too.
Yeah, I enjoyed.
Now,
I
this, I'm
enjoyed
actually
Glass Onion a lot,
surprised.
actually.
I'm surprised this didn't actually get any nominations. And me personally, of all his films, and some I don't like, some I do, some that he produces I can't stand. But I really, really, really like this film.
Fast and Furious.
Is Nope. No, it's Nope.
Nope.
Not Fast and
Nope.
Furious.
Yeah, nope.
Hey, listen, Nope should have got nominated as well. I think it deserved at least
I'm
a
amazed
nomination.
it did it.
And I think it's one of the best westerns I've ever seen. It's so good. Listen, I love
So when we do our next best westerns,
Yeah.
now instead of Back to the Future 3, he's gonna go with
it's
Nope.
gonna it's still,
what a
it's still
jump.
Back to the Future
What
3
a
and then
jump.
Nope because
Then Nope
they have some
behind it.
really good western scenes at the end, man.
It's great. It was
Now,
great.
I got a
Perfect.
bad feeling I might be alone in this one. I know MSK's out on this.
If
Let
you
me see
feel
Yo
you're
Peace
alone
agrees
on
with
this
me.
one, then you're alone in this one. I'm just giving you a heads
Yeah,
up.
Doctor
Train.
Strange and the
Bullet
multiverse,
Train.
right?
Nah, Bullet Train.
Bullet Train?
Yeah,
no, you're not alone
I'm
in this
good.
one.
No, I'm good. That's not
Yes!
That's
You're
not
not
I got a
alone in
Yo
this one.
Peace vote.
You're not
I got a
alone in
Yo
this
Peace
one.
vote. So it
It's
makes
good.
the
It's a
list.
good movie.
It
It's
makes
It's a
it
good
not.
movie. It should have gotten
I've
nominated.
seen that movie, so
Nominated.
it's such a
Just
fun
nominated.
film.
That's an
Doesn't mean they're
MTV
gonna win.
movie award type thing.
That
Doesn't mean
is
they're gonna
such a
win.
fun film. Well, let's talk. So Tangerine is gonna be Bond, right? I mean, that's the heavy rumors. That's the direction
Kick-Ass.
they're going in with James Bond.
Kick-Ass?
Yeah, Taylor
Yeah,
Johnson.
Kick-Ass.
Yes, that is the rumor.
What's his first
Tanny.
name? Taylor Johnson. Well, yeah, he's most likely gonna be the next Bond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most likely, yeah. To Tangerine, to suit.
I can see it, man. I can see
he's
it.
awesome.
He's great.
My favorite thing, spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen it, see it. You gotta take this spoiler because one of my favorite things about that film is something so simple, just because of the casting, and it was a favor, obviously, because Brad Pitt did it for him in Deadpool 2. But
Yeah,
when they show
yeah.
who Carter is, Carter, right? Carter or Carver?
Carver.
Who Carver is, all they had to do was show his face for you to know
That's
everything about that character.
it. You already
And
know
by
that.
casting Ryan Reynolds, they did it. And just him walking with that smirky ass
smug-
face of
Yeah,
his.
There was a
Smug.
dialogue
Yes.
where he says, "Man, Carver's such an asshole" or whatever, and then they
Yes,
show
and
his
you're
face later on.
like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I know everything I need to know
was
about
perfect.
Carver.
And it's
He
funny
is
because they
he
show
is
his
an
face
asshole.
like, "Oh, yeah, that's funny." He is an asshole.
And let me tell you right now, I heard that there's rumors that they're gonna do a thing about the wolf, which is Bad Bunny. And let me tell you now, I'm not the biggest Bad Bunny fan. I did not go into this movie thinking I was gonna like Bad Bunny, but
Man.
everything about that story and that scene and that moment, the way they gave you an entire movie in 10
Yeah.
minutes was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Omega.
Like, I wouldn't want to see a full
It
length.
kind of
Omega.
reminds me of like a Robert Rodriguez film or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
they
very
did.
Yes.
Desperado.
Yeah.
I'll be
Very
honest with you,
Desperado and
man.
mariachi. Yeah.
I personally am not a fan of the music. That's just me. That
Same.
has nothing to do
I
with
get a lot of
anything.
people
I'm
are,
not a
but
fan.
that's just my personal
But I
taste.
tell you
Yeah.
what, the way this guy was directed in that movie, I love it.
Fantastic.
I love it.
Fantastic. It was.
It also helps that
fantastic.
he wasn't in it too long because he's not an actor, right? Like he wasn't the
Right.
best
No,
actor,
but he acted perfectly
but
for what he
for
did
what
everything he needed to do
he
there.
was good.
But if they
Perfectly.
do like a Tarantino movie with him, it's gonna be or Rodriguez. It's gonna be
Yeah.
out there. So yeah, let him have that type of film.
Yeah, it felt like I was watching Once Upon a Time in Mexico. That's what it felt like.
Yes.
Let them have that.
And I loved all those elements because even even like the ending scene when you have the guy from he's in everything. He's in John Wick. He's and so much. The older man, the father. Well, the grandfather of the kid who's pushed off at the beginning, the one who has the rivalry with the White Death, which it's Sheenan in that movie, Chameleon, excellent. The
Sheenan,
Russian Yakuza, whatever. But that was like a whole quick mini Kill Bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what I love so much about that film is they take Brad Pitt's character is his comedic, comedic character, comic relief, but poor guy, doesn't want to get physical. He's not the badass hero. And what they do is they use him to jump from these individual stories, that each story by itself is like representative of other
movie.
animes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's its own movie. Tangerine and Lemon. Like all these different stories are fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's just there to facilitate.
Yeah.
Even though he's the main character, by keeping him soft and loose, you don't take his story seriously, so you can get in quick spoonfuls all the other stories more seriously. I mean, it's a genius film.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Genius. So
I mean, it's way better than Tar, I can tell you that.
yeah, that's why I felt mixed. Yeah, no kidding. So Tar's not on this list. So that's it. That's all I got for this list. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything you guys would throw out there to add to this list for us to give the Andrew to. But so now adding those. So the only ones we added now were the Batman, The Menu, Prey, Glass Onion, Nope, and Bullet Train. Do we still give it to Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I do. Yeah, I still give it to him.
Yes.
And then I would give
please.
the Batman maybe the second place one. For sure, the Batman would win cinematography. That 100% for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually believe it as much
And the
as I like
score
Glass
was
Onion.
great. Did it get nominated for the score? Or
I don't think it did.
that's
I
crazy
don't
to
think
me.
it did.
That's crazy to me.
They should have had Nirvana perform.
Nirvana, the classic rock band Nirvana, because it's on classic rock.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that song the first time around. I really liked it this time around.
I wonder why.
Because now I put the Batman to it. That's it. Is there's so many. Like there's songs I've always liked before, but there's songs that when you add it to a movie, so we're not talking about the score because that's a whole nother animal. And when we're talking about the actual
soundtrack, dude, you're talking
orchestral
about, like,
sound,
the
yeah, I'm talking about like a soundtrack. But they're playing like James Gunn does it all the time. Gunn is great, fantastic. Him and Tarantino.
Yeah.
Gunn and Tarantino are probably, for me, two of the best directors at that, of selecting a well-known, already liked song and then making it a moment that you'll never get out of your head again from that point on. Because what is it, Reservoir Dogs, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, stuck in the middle with you, forget about it. That's like, I hear that song, that's all I can see is that scene. And there's a lot of scenes with that, for always from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And I really just a simple one. I can't hear "I Want You Back" from Jackson 5 without thinking about Groot at the end of the first one. Dancing in the plant, whatever. So, and that's a simple one. That's not even like all the other great stuff that does. But that's what I do like, when people are able to take songs already made and then just make it such a staple from the perfect imagery and scenery from a film, where that just sticks you from that moment. Like you can never hear the song again.
I got to double check, but I think Quentin Tarantino actually. He uses songs that are already made in every movie as a score. The only movie that's an original score was Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight, yeah, they had to.
Yeah,
Western.
But everything else was originally made.
With that film knowledge, sir.
Yeah, that's some nerdy shit.
And for the one that he hates.
Though. I might just make it up.
Hateful Eight is MSK Hateful. Because that's the one that he despises. MSK Hateful was more like, he don't like that one. Check out our Tarantino episode. So anyway.
So no, but apart from all this, like, so on this list that you're talking about,
I'll be honest, on this list, Maverick's such a complete film.
You would still
for me, it's
going back.
For me, it's Bullet Train jumping to second. But believe it or not, I'm gonna line us up with the Oscars, which will never normally happen, except for the Jamie Lee Curtis nomination, and let alone win. It's insane. But re-seeing so much from that film and rethinking that film and how crazy it is to still be a complete film, because this goes over the top in ways Bullet Train or the Batman or Maverick did not go, and still managed to be a complete dramatic film.
Morbius.
I think I switched from Maverick back to Tar. To Tar.
Morbius.
He went with Tar. This way.
It's not even on the list.
I gotta research more about.
I forgot to put Morbius on this list.
Listen, I gotta research more if anyone got offended at the ending of Tar, because that's offensive to anime people, right? Like,
it should be.
That should be offensive.
First of all, it's offensive to anime people in the sense that
I'm offended for watching the movie. To be honest,
actually, it's not even anime. That's right. It's
watching the movie.
Anime fans in cosplay. But here's the thing. Number one, it's an insult to that crowd and that fanship as to like, oh, how degrading for a conductor that this is the audience I have to perform for and make music for. Then is the insult to the conductors and orchestras that do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Perform and take that very seriously and acknowledge it as very important work. Listen, you go back to, I'm gonna bring it up because you guys talk about all the time, the the person who wrote the music for the Thong Song.
Oh man, what a classic
And
song!
you think
that
he's
is
gonna
the
take
best
that
song,
insult?
man. Don't
You
bring
think someone's
that
gonna go,
up.
oh come
Don't
on,
bring that
you're
up.
not a
That's one of the best songs
conductor.
I've ever
You
had
wrote the
pleasure
Thong
of
Song,
listening
but
to. That classical.
you know what I mean?
Violin,
Masterpiece.
that violin. Come on,
That violin is. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say what Yopi said earlier, but yeah. But man, that
Chef's kiss?
Yeah, exactly. Who is that chef, man? What?
puppy.
That
Come
chef,
on, Rock.
man.
Come
That
on,
That
puppy.
is so
Chef kiss. Aquí, puppy.
Man, that violin. We could talk. We could have a whole podcast of
Yeah,
that
we
one
can.
song.
We
Just about
actually
that
can.
violin.
You know, we
That's a
just
separate
watch the
episode.
video and talk about
Watch
it.
the video game and watch it. Yeah.
That's a separate
Ricky
episode.
Martin's producer's still making money off that, by the way.
Yeah, I think the whole Ricky Martin crew is still
The
making
whole
money.
Ricky
for
Martin
that.
crew is making money.
So let's crap on the Oscars a bit. Let's see what they what the Andrews think of the Oscars. So Everything Everywhere All at Once, that actually lines up amazingly. That lines up. Brandon Fraser won Best Actor.
I love it.
I'm kind of gonna
Deserved
bet
it.
that's probably
I love
right.
Deserved it.
At least from what's nominated, and
Yeah.
I'll be honest, of all the films, I'm not giving Tom Cruise an Andrew for playing Tom Cruise in Maverick.
In every movie? In every
yeah, exactly.
movie?
So
Every
even
movie,
from so even from the films that we're talking about, like the Batman, I will give credit to Robert Pattinson in surprising me somewhat.
Same.
Even though I had a feeling, because I've already learned my lesson enough of being wrong, not just the Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, but on other accounts of like maybe
That was not Lex Luthor.
And,
That was the
it came
Riddler.
out well.
I don't know if you guys remember. That was the Riddler.
yeah, exactly.
Wait, what?
He was not Lex.
I was talking
He
about Jesse
the Riddler.
Eisenberg.
He
That I was
not
saying,
Lex
learning our
Luthor.
lesson of
He's
and this
still
case lost from
I'm
still
so
the Riddler.
lost.
That guy
He's
is still
wrapping
the
his-
Riddler.
he's-
He's not
he's
Lex
wrapping his head
Luthor.
around. But anyways, what I was saying is about like who wins the Academy Award. So even though I can't take from any of the films that we did see, but based on what I have seen and what I've heard, I feel that Brandon Fraser for Best Actor is probably correct. Michelle Yeoh, definitely Everything All at Once.
Yeah.
Best
Yes.
original song. I'm not gonna even get into that. I don't know what that is, but not too. A
That's
thing.
from RRR. Yeah, that's from
Yeah.
RRR.
I've never seen it.
That's the only thing that got nominated from RRR.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see. That's you know what? That's the crazy thing about Everything Everywhere All at Once getting nominated and winning everything is that if it would have at least done that as well with RRR getting nominated, and I have not yet seen RRR to completion. I've only seen moments at a time. I want to sit down and watch that insanity.
I
also,
want exactly. I want to
all the way
have
through.
the time
that
to watch the whole
would be a
thing.
watch together type thing. But All Quiet on the Western Front won for Best International. That was obvious that was going to happen. I'm going to agree with that. Same thing. None of the other films I watched
See,
were
but
international
RRR
films.
didn't get nominated for that.
That's the
We're
weird
even-
I know, for
thing.
anything.
That's the
That's
weird thing that
crazy.
they do all the time.
Yeah, that's
I don't
crazy,
understand
man.
that. I don't understand how they sit there and they pick and choose who they want. But there's an actual movie that's a foreign
that's why it's
movie,
not the Andrews.
and you're
Yeah.
here like denying it from being nominated at least in the category. Like put it in.
It got nominated for music. Man, that's crazy.
So, Short Round, winning for Best Supporting Actor. Awesome. Goonies Never
That's not
Die.
his name. Say his name. Come on, give him some respect.
Say his name.
Kei Hui Kwan. How do you pronounce it?
Kei Kwang.
Kei Hui Kwan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he's awesome. That's a
Man,
comeback story.
he just
That
seems
is
like
a comeback
cool person.
story.
Like, I'm
That's
glad.
wild.
I'm glad he won.
Yeah, he was so happy. It reminded me
hug.
back in the day remember when Roberto Bellini won for what was that film? The Italian actor.
Yeah,
when he won it for
The Piano or something.
That's a
What
great
did he
movie
win?
too. The one, the
Was it The
Holocaust
Piano?
one.
Oh, the
No,
pianist.
it-
The
it-
pianist.
No, the pianist was
The pianist.
Adrian Brody.
That
No,
was
he won for the
Adrian-
other
that
one.
was Adrian
That was
Brody.
Adrian Brody. No, he won for the one where he was like the kid, that he was like playing a game with him and pretending that the whole situation was a game, but they're really like in a
Hold on, let's find out the name, and then I can have something to cut to because this
War
sounds terrible.
games? War games?
No,
The only way to win is not to play the game?
Yeah.
Boom!
I'm gonna have to IMDb it. Roberto
Yeah,
Bellini.
do that, please, because
Roberto Bellini. Life is Beautiful. That's what it is. Life is Beautiful. That was the name of the movie he won.
There you
for.
go. Now, do it again.
Yeah.
And go.
and go.
So, which was Life is Beautiful, the film that he won his Oscar for, but it reminded me of that emotional, like, you know what I mean?
Life
Like, you just really felt for that actor that was a true story of and look at him. He left the industry for a while.
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow. He was a child actor and a great child actor. He had 2, awesome hits, you know what I mean? Indiana Jones and Goonies. Yeah.
And Goonies.
So
his lawyer is his co-star from the Goonies.
Figures.
That's
yeah,
funny.
that's right.
He said it in his speech. Yeah.
That's wild. So Jamie Lee Curtis, we've already talked about enough.
Angela got snubbed. Completely got.
Seriously, I don't know how.
Listen, and I get it. They don't want superhero and give him props or whatever it may be. She got snubbed.
Forget what her face looked like.
I don't care about her face.
Her face looked like. You should have seen my face. Yeah. When I saw the update on the post, like, are you serious? Like, how did they get that one wrong? That was
crazy.
An easy one.
That was
crazy. Is that
nominated her.
At least for me, there's 3 other actresses that in that list alone that beat Jamie Lee Curtis.
Kevin Feige Kevin Feige and like 5 big Disney execs like sent a text like, really? They're like, really?
That's not cool. That's not cool at all, man.
That isn't cool, man. You know what that is? You know what that is, though? It's nepotism.
That is nepotism. That is nepotism. In a way,
she's had an entire career, and he's still
that
going.
Is nepotism.
It is. That's what it is.
I'm gonna tell you. Watch Marlon Wayans' special on HBO Max. So he really talks about what he thinks about nepotism. He's a Wayans, so obviously he's all for it. Yeah. it's a whole family making an entire market. He was
co-hosting the Daily Show for a week, I think. At one point, he was like, "Listen, if it wasn't for after-school programs." I wouldn't. I'm not saying that the Wayans brothers would, the Wayans family would be a cartel, but that was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Nah, he's great. So let's see. Then we got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, one for animated feature.
Haven't seen it, but
I haven't seen it, but I'm interested in it.
That dude always kills it. So,
Hey, side note: did you guys ever watch the Tom Hanks one?
Nope.
Not after watching Elvis.
I don't know. I'm gonna.
Don't do it. Don't.
I'm just kidding. I did watch it. Unfortunately,
really? I think Disney needs to stop with the live actions.
Did you? I got 40 minutes in, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing.
Yeah. I think Disney needs to stop with all the live actions that they're doing. It's just.
I think Tom Hanks needs to stop as well.
Yeah, I think Tom Hanks had.
That's
another episode. We'll talk about
I honestly feel like he needs a break. He needs a break.
He needs to reinvent himself.
Yes.
That's what he needs to do. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to go back to being Forrest Gump.
No.
I don't mean this. I'm saying being an original character.
I kind of think, and this is crazy, I kind of think Tom Hanks needs to stop being a leading guy and start being a supporting guy.
A supporting actor, and maybe just be himself. Yeah. Stop trying to create a character and make the character
exactly.
Just play yourself for a while. Let's see how that goes.
And Castaway, he was doing massive.
Well, he's gonna end up doing his own biopic. That's
what he's gonna do. Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks.
Gonna end up in a Tubi movie.
Yeah. Well.
So anyway, for director. Obviously, Daniel Kwan, which is the director for Everything Everywhere All at Once. That makes sense. Usually, best
Daniels,
film,
2 Daniels,
best director go to some. There you go. Because the other one, Daniel Shiner. Yeah.
And Daniel Kwan directed the Turn Down for What music video, which makes perfect sense.
That makes complete sense.
That makes complete sense. That video is crazy.
Best original score, I don't know. All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm gonna guess because Yopis was already giving that props earlier.
It's catchy, man.
MSK as well.
Boom.
Yeah, All Quiet, Babylon, Banshees was nominated. Yeah, but All Quiet took it. See, that's the thing. Everything, Everywhere, that was also nominated, but I don't remember the score at all for that movie.
Well, they did play. Okay. Here's my secret. Okay, you guys are calling me out on this. My secret is I actually ended up watching the whole Oscars from the beginning, the whole thing.
Did you?
Yes, I did. And they actually played the song for
the Andrews. Okay, did the Andrews inspire you, or was this a household decision that you
You know what? I
outvoted
think he
on?
watches it because he saw it last year too.
The wifey, no, but here the wifey was.
I mean, he could have left the room.
What's funny
and played
is the wifey was like, why are we gonna watch? Like, she goes, are you recording about this? And I was yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna record about this, so I need to watch it. Yeah,
the Andrews
and then
inspired
she
him.
heard our episode the next day, right when it released.
She hasn't heard the episode, which is
she hasn't heard past episode 3. I'm assuming.
So let's see.
But
a lot of these are
what
things that we
what I was
wouldn't go
going
for.
with, they actually played the song for Everything All at Once. Everything All at Once. They had that theme song there.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's not memorable to me.
It was weird.
Yeah, I imagine. I don't remember it at all, man.
And how many times did Jimmy Kimmel force a joke about?
Oh
the
my
slap?
goodness.
The whole night, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness.
He had to, right? I mean, there's no way he could not.
The slap, he only did it for like a little bit. He didn't go too crazy with the slap, but forcing jokes, yes.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel is not.
That's who he is.
I honestly don't like Jimmy Kimmel.
That's who he was. Forcing jokes. There was
he's
some
definitely the worst
There was
Jimmy.
some like that were like kind of good. Okay. I want to say good. They were okay.
Nothing like the Billy Crystal days.
Oh, no way.
No, and MSK is right. What is the Hugh Jackman one?
Hugh Jackman
that was
pretty
good too.
Yeah.
That was pretty good too.
You know when it went downhill
it's
for
just
me
something
is when they got James Franco to host with Anne Hathaway. Was it Anne Hathaway?
Uh-oh.
I didn't remember this.
Yeah.
That's already when I tuned out.
Yeah,
that's when I tuned out.
Yeah, that's when I stopped really caring.
Insane. Yeah, so a lot of these other ones, let's see, best costume design, Black Panther. That's going best film editing. That would be more of a MSK category.
So
Everything Everywhere All at Once won for that too.
Who won in the best costume?
Black Panther.
Okay.
For design.
For my people.
Everything Everywhere All at Once won for editing.
They won for my people.
Yeah, production design was All Quiet. Best sound was Maverick.
Power Rangers.
Did Avatar win anything? Oh, Avatar won, of course, for best visual effects, which I actually disagree with. I give that to the Batman.
Yeah, that's one that I mean,
because
Avatar should.
It's not like you watch Avatar and didn't know you were watching CGI.
Avatar had no purpose. Oh my goodness!
No one went to the theaters and said, "Oh man, this is CGI."
Oh, man, this PlayStation game is amazing.
Except for that lady that saw Captain America. Yeah.
The Na'vi aren't real.
That's CGI.
It's green screen.
That's not real water.
It's mocap.
That's not H2O.
Wow, look at this.
It was mocap all
I mean, it could
along.
happen. It could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Just like it could happen.
It
No,
could
but
happen.
honestly, they had no business whatsoever being in the Oscars.
Nope.
Avatar.
Whatsoever.
No.
Anywhere.
And now I'm reading that part 3 has a 9-hour version that Disney Plus intends to release as a series after they release the 3-hour version of it in theaters. I'm about to check out. I think I'm not watching Avatar 3. I think I'm done. And I liked it.
Listen,
I like part 2.
You know, it's starting to sound like
Which
to
MSK
me,
hasn't even watched it, and Yo Piece didn't like it. I actually liked it, but that is a big turnoff right now.
it's starting to
Why
sound
is
like
there 9 hours?
yeah, no, it's starting to sound like they're kind of ripping off The Last Airbender. But whatever, man.
That's what they're going for.
I mean, they're doing Fire next, so
Wrong Avatar. That's right.
yeah. So
No, Captain Pandora, man. You said it.
yeah.
I am Captain Planet. So, yeah, it looks like the Andrews are better and more accurate, but they actually lined up. They got a lot. They got a lot of it right this year.
Next year we'll know if the Andrews actually should be the Academy for
I
the
think
rest
so.
of the world.
Actually, you know, I think the Andrews are just going to get bigger next year.
Yeah.
We still got to
We're
go
not-
through
we're
the
not.
Curtis Awards in the summer for
Yes.
TV,
Curtis
for TV
Awards,
shows.
yes sir. Yes, sir.
Curtis and
The
and
Last
the
of
Chris's.
Us. I think The Last of Us is a strong series for the Curtis Awards this year.
This is my top right now. So
Yeah, we gotta leave it because which is the one? Okay, so the Emmys, that one's just television, right?
The
Emmys, yes.
Emmys is just
Yeah, and then the Golden Globes is like all
I mean,
of
that's-
and the Golden Globes is like everything.
it's both.
everything all at once.
It's like both.
It's everything all
all
at
at
once.
once.
Yeah, we don't need 3. We would just do
Yeah.
one for TV and one for. So let's go Curtis's and Andrews.
And we got to do
Curtis and
music.
Andrews.
We definitely got to do music.
Do we do?
We're
Do
gonna
we?
start- Are we a music podcast?
Ball.
I give it to
we
Ice
have
T.
one.
We're talking about Ice-T.
I give it to Cisco Thong Song.
Listen, I don't know why you're laughing. That's serious.
Man. No, but definitely the Curtis. We definitely got to do the Curtis. I'm looking forward now to the Curtis. I will end up watching the Curtis as well.
I'll end up watching.
Yes, you will.
You know what happened last year that pissed me off?
Go ahead.
Andor was not
Ricky
nominated
Gervais?
for a Curtis.
Wait, what?
And it should have.
How that should have won it.
Yeah. It
That
wasn't
should
a
have
Curtis.
won.
Not for a Curtis. Sorry, for the Emmy, because the Curtis is gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna win.
Yeah,
for
Curtis
the
is
Curtis.
gonna get it right.
Emmy.
Curtis is gonna get it right.
Emmy.
Yeah.
For the Emmy. Yeah.
So then I guess we'll have to do a
Missing
Curtis. Get
Emmy.
a post Curtis for 2022.
2022.
Or just do a 2023 Curtis.
So that's the next time we're
'cause
recording. Is that what you're telling
Yeah,
me right now?
Yeah, luckily
probably.
Andor's last year, so we won't have to compare it to Last of Us this year.
September.
Because that's a tight race. That's a very tight race. Andor and The Last of Us. 'cause those are
You know what? No, I'm sorry. I
big
think
shows.
when did Andor come out? Let's see.
Last
December, November. I think it ended in December.
Yeah, I think it was September 21st. And
Yeah, when it started. Yeah,
no, it was after. Okay, so it was the Golden Globes that didn't give it anything.
yeah, that snubbed it.
Yeah, it snubbed it. Yeah,
But yeah, I gotta go. You know, I'll be honest. Those are two of the most complete shows and series. And let me tell you now, I love House of the Dragon. I love The Witcher season 2. I liked. But there's a lot of great shows. But I'll tell you right now, as far as like, I love The Mandalorian right now is killing it. And last year, we didn't have Mandalorian last year. We had Mandalorian-ish, some episodes out of Boba Fett.
Boba.
Yeah, Boba Fett. Boba Sparks. Can you imagine if Boba Sparks played Boba Fett?
My goodness.
Anyways.
That's
First
great.
of all, you're showing your age. That's great.
Where is Boba Sparks?
Well, you said Bubba Sparks, and it took me a minute. I was like, oh wow,
Hey,
That's-
you know, man.
that took me that.
Probably right around the corner. He's right around the corner.
He's in the next city. He's in the next town. Actually,
He's one town over.
he's in one town over.
Hey, Betty.
Yeah, he probably has a podcast about music, talking about the funk song.
No, he has the Curtises.
Oh,
man,
He
you're
has
old.
the Bubbas.
God, you're old.
yes,
Anyways.
I am. So, anyways, but yeah, I can't think of two shows that are complete dramatic script. Like, you take The Last of Us, and if that was not a video game at all, that's a great show.
Yeah.
It's a great series.
What was the
It's
other
a
show you
great
were talking
story.
about? What was the other one?
Was Andor.
Oh yeah.
Andor.
Okay, yeah. For
it's
sure.
another series that if it wasn't Star Wars,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like Last
That's
of Us, if
not
it wasn't a video game,
Listen, forget
it's another-
about that
and
Star
Andor
Wars.
is like
Yeah, that's
Andor applies. You know what? I actually will compare Andor to Peaky Blinders in a sense, because the way Peaky Blinders covers things like rebellion, politics.
I can see that.
Especially from that era and that time, and that's what Andor does. Andor can literally be a story that can be adapted and implanted into any actual factual historical era of rebellion and civil war and takeovers.
Oh, so
and,
good, man. I'm gonna rewatch
regime
it.
Oh, man,
changes.
you guys are getting me
I mean,
hype.
it's
I gotta go
genius.
watch this right now.
And no matter what, and that's what I say, what I said in the last episode too. 4 Lights, Tyrion. I'll let the gods decide my fate. When he does combat.
Trial by Combat. Yeah.
Trial by Combat. It scenes like that just live in your mind, in infamy of incredibly delivered monologues, and the fact that Andy Serkis and Skarsgård in the same episode, pretty much simultaneously, giving complete flip sides of the coins, having nothing to do with each other, speeches, monologues that are just mind blowing in an episode that the whole episode itself is mind blowing, of showing you what intentional sacrifices and what unintentional sacrifices when you're in the midst of a rebellion.
Oh man, it's so good. I'm
amazing.
just thinking of Skarsgård's speech and thinking about your Cade Yopis, because I know he just saw Rogue One. Man,
I'm sorry.
That's too much for him.
that's
sorry.
too much.
Too much,
That's
man.
too much, man.
That's just too
I'm
much.
sorry, buddy.
Man,
I'm sorry. I'm putting it out there right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's gonna grow. He's gonna age.
I forgot how
He's
to
gonna age a
parent.
lot after that
I forgot how to
experience.
be a
Now he's gonna
parent.
rebel. I hope you know that he's gonna rebel against this.
I forgot how to parent.
Dude, he's gonna go into his room and start putting away all his all his
But it's
toys
Star
and
Wars.
Hey,
The
but
world's not fun
This is
anymore.
what you
Daddy.
treat it
know
like
what?
our parents would treat it.
you know what?
It's a Star Wars.
but let me tell you something. I think in the long run, I have done the right thing for him. Unlike us growing up and the stuff that we saw that we obviously didn't need to see some of the stuff that we saw growing up. And here we
What
are.
I saw at 8, 9. What I saw at 8, 9 years old.
So the best thing is,
I had no reason to watch Double Impact in the movie theater. That's all I'm saying.
He started with the word double. I almost had a panic attack. in fairness, those who don't know that's a John-Claude Van Damme movie,
but it's rated R.
Still are having a panic attack right now. Like, you saw Double Impact. What?
Yeah. So I think in the long run, it will help him have a better podcast than the one that we have.
In the long run, it will help him take over this podcast in 10 years.
Yes. No, except his podcast is dealing with clinical depression set on by watching things way too early in life that are too mind-bending.
Man. You know what? We need to do an episode. We need to do an episode of the stuff that we watch as kids.
Yes.
No, and
MSK,
honestly, like put it out there. Put our parents out there.
I agree.
Of the things that we actually
parents
watch.
are not gonna listen
Actually,
to
I think that's our next episode. But no, MSK, I need you to edit a cartoon of Baby Yopiece watching that scene in Andor, and then when it ends, he just looks over at Yopiece with like a tear starting to slow down his eye, and Yopiece just goes beep bop boop.
Speaking like
this scene right now
imagine
is
the whole
like
family
like R2D2 or something.
Arturito.
It's like we need a Babu Frick right now, and this like bad baby. We're like we need a moment quick here. Like where's some quick George
He didn't want to watch it. He didn't want to watch it. That's family pressure, man. That's
family.
Man,
but you know, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, Andor's next level, man.
Andor's
it really
good,
is. It's
so can he
it's
watch
such a
Andor?
complete series. Yeah, he can.
He could.
He can.
I mean, it's gonna bring back.
Well, the worst part of it's already over. Yeah, the worst part of it's already over.
Because Andor's a prequel.
That's
so
yeah, he already watched them die Rogue One. So.
Andor's a prequel to Rogue One, so he's gonna feel it. You know,
he's gonna feel it. I know the outcome. He's gonna know the outcome already. He's like,
listen, but did he root
for nothing?
Yeah, did he root for Darth Vader? But after that, did he root for Darth Vader, or did he cry for those people too?
No, it was definitely the people.
But the Darth Vader scene picked him up though, right?
Nope. It started with the robot, and it never picked up again. It was just all downhill from there.
Oh man!
So you know what? Watch it 3 more times, and then he'll start practicing the scene from Darth Vader and learning that lightsaber.
I don't think he's ever gonna watch that movie ever again.
No, but that's Anakin. See that's different.
Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah.
He's never gonna watch that again.
Yeah, he has to learn the Anakin killing the paddle.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, maybe learn that one. Anyways, this is. I think this is it. We're gonna wrap our Andrews. I guess.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. We have.
What's the necessity? Watch Tar. I guess. What's the necessity?
The necessity for
Morbius.
Andor, get out of here with that.
Listen, you saw. I want to just throw it out there.
Andor,
you saw Morbius in the worst possible way by yourself. Your friend, your very good friend,
So
Jedi.
Your Jedi. He just left you. He just left you there, and I'm sorry, but yeah, you should have seen Morbius for what it was.
It's terrible.
Which was a comedy. It was a comedy.
What? Even as a comedy, it's terrible.
Yeah, it was good, man.
It's terrible.
Hey, where's the woman in jeans? That way.
Thank you.
He obsessed so much about that moment. I think I went to the bathroom to that moment.
I think that's his favorite part of that.
It has terrible dialogue. That movie is so bad. So bad.
House of the Dragon saved Matt Smith. Big time.
No, he did that Soho movie too. That was actually
Matt Smith
good.
is good, man. He's a good. Everyone. Everyone
actually,
has
that's pretty good.
That's a good movie.
I mean, that's not Andrew worthy, but it was good.
No, it was a good movie. Surprised. It was a decent story.
I was surprised.
I like the twist.
Everything.
Which, I mean, you can see
she needs to take a break.
Yeah,
she needs to take a break.
She definitely needs to take a break.
Yeah,
I just realized she's Princess Toadstool in the upcoming
Yeah.
Mario movie.
Yes.
Like, dude, like,
Yeah, she definitely
there's
definitely
other
needs to break.
actresses.
You just started.
Yeah,
You just
she's
started.
everywhere, man.
You
She's
just started.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she's awesome. The thing is, she is,
she's
in
good,
fairness,
but
she is
yeah,
awesome.
she
Like,
is.
she
In
does
everything
not
she's done.
disappoint. In everything,
Yeah.
she does not disappoint. But it's
Yeah.
like,
Man, I
let
hated her in Peaky
let
Blinders.
other actors and actresses act.
Peaky Blinders, I hated her, man. She was so good, but
She's another person who's starting to like kind of get that same pop is the actress from X. And I just saw this movie, not Andrew Worthy, actually not even really worth
Scream
watching at
6.
all.
Yeah.
What's her? No, she's in another movie just recently with the Skarsgård with the oldest. Not the oldest, but the tallest son.
Mia Goth. That's
Mia Goth. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
She's
that's,
and they're just in a film called
Shia LaBeouf's wife.
Is it?
Yeah.
What? Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That's
I think you're making this
current
up.
wife.
Yeah, that's his current wife.
Previous.
That's his current wife.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
But this girl from the Addams Family girl, the Wednesday, she's in those movies too.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega. Yeah, she's in that one. But no, but there's a movie I'm gonna have to pull it up real quick. Recently, and it's the same thing. One of those artsy whatever movies, and it kind of got me watching it because I thought it was gonna be like it had an interesting concept.
What did you think it was gonna be?
Mia Goth. Here we go. The most current.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. X and
aren't they all
Infinity Pool and X and Pearl, Infinity Pool.
And Infinity
Pool.
The
only thing I will give to X, I mean Pearl's kind of like straight on the nose. But X, the concept where they took the same actress playing the protagonist and had them also portray the the serial killer, the monster of the horror film, is different because then it and then there's a twist to the film at the end too. But
they're gonna do another one too, I think.
Yeah, they have another one. Yeah, it's Triple X or whatever, and it's during like the late 80s, early 90s, and it's her character's continuation from X, where the other one's a prequel because it's the backstory to the old lady and X. But I saw this other movie, Infinity Pool, and it has a wild concept. Oh, this is not a nerdcessity, but unfortunately, I'm kind of
sounds like it. Sounds like a
I'm kind of
nerdcessity.
ending on this because it's just one of those movies that has some crazy moments in it, and it has a wild concept, and that's what got me to watch. I'm like, because it has to do with cloning. But
you just ruined the twist. Was that a spoiler?
No, that's not a twist. No. It's not. It's. I mean, you could kind of spoiler alert, but it's not. That's what you see in the trailer. They show it in the trailer. They showed in the synopsis because that's the base story. That's not the twist. But I mean, it has a couple of twists in it, but it's not really a twist movie. It's kind of like this is the situation.
You got me facing. I could live a normal life.
How would you handle?
Oh, mate, to get
this
out.
situation. You got me facing. But yeah, the base. It's almost like saying a time travel movie is about time travel. It's a clone movie that has to do with cloning in a different way than other films that we've seen, but it goes nowhere. It's like they had a great starting point, but to me, just like they couldn't do like a real fulfilling story with a really good conclusion that actually gives you something. It's one of those, but her acting in it is incredible. That's why I brought her up because we were talking about earlier from everything else in the world, Peaky Blinders, Queen's Gambit, that she
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anna Taylor-Joy. There we go.
She's everywhere.
But yeah, her performance incredible. So this is one of those films that for her, other directors and producers will watch it and continue to cast her in things. And I feel for some other actors that had smaller parts in it that it has some impactful moments. But just overall, it's one of those like artsy and just like overly shock value, not like everything movie. Everywhere all at once. It's not a horror. It's like a thriller. I guess it's like a thriller. It's like a thriller. Yeah, like a thriller.
Is
and
that
kind of a dark.
Let me check that.
Yeah. It's. I guess it's worth watching once.
Nope.
But don't expect your mind to be blown. So yeah, I thought it was a nerdcessity. I'm amazed that I'm actually going to throw a nerdcessity or something that.
Watch Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, I actually want to see that. I kind of want to see that. I
want to watch it. It sounds.
I kind of want to see that, but then I saw the pitch. I saw the pitch meeting video to that, and that's the mistake: is never watch the pitch meeting videos before.
No, you never
don't care about spoilers.
That?
No, even if you don't care about spoilers, like that's a movie like I don't care about the spoilers, but he states that the bear's barely in it. Which that I'm like, because they don't want to spend the money on the CGI.
Of course.
So, it's one of those moments that but it's one of Ray Liotta's last movies, which that's actually kind of sad.
I didn't know he was in it.
He's a great
the
actor,
thing.
yeah. And there's a bunch of other there's a bunch of actors in this movie that when you start looking at it, what? It's almost like the Sharknado. It's like A-list Sharknado is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, B-list, no, A-list Sharknado. But yeah, so that's the only thing about
So
that.
Infinity
But
Pool is your.
So Necessity is Cocaine Bear.
I was trying to see if Infinity Pool was part of A20 because
It's not.
It's
not.
crazy,
A24
man.
does that, man. A24 is a really
awesome,
good
though.
company.
They're really good at doing different things. You know,
Is the Norseman them as well?
You know,
Maybe.
Is the
show
Norseman
this podcast? You know,
Yeah, maybe. Hey, was the
A24.
Norseman also just curious? Was that A24? Because that also has that vibe.
maybe
what-
that's
the
the North.
what?
let me see.
Which
You know,
one?
and they cast him a lot apparently.
Which one?
The Norseman. That's that Viking one. Ethan Hawke's in it. William Dafoe's in it. It's got a lot
The
of,
Norseman?
and she's in it. And Anna
she was.
Joy's in it
That's
too.
right.
Yeah,
Anya
she
Taylor-Joy.
is.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, Anya
she
Taylor-Joy's
was
in
in
that
it.
one too.
Jesus.
And who else is in it that is wow? I'm trying to remember who's the mom in it. Is it no, not Sharon Stone. Oh,
No, it's
Nicole Kidman.
Bewitched.
Nicole Kidman.
Bewitched.
Nicole Kidman. There we go. Nicole
Bewitched
Kidman.
is where you know Nicole Kidman for. Well,
There we go.
Yep.
Bewitched.
that movie is
Yeah,
something.
Far and Away.
Did
I
just
don't
say
know if
that
it's
out loud?
A24.
Did I just say that out loud?
You did. You did.
Yeah, it's a podcast. We do audio here. Yeah. Piece.
The viewers will know forever.
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know if it's A24, but A24 is killing it, man.
That's
Yeah,
why.
it's in that-
her
it's in that
nose.
realm.
Her nose could actually move. That's
It's
why
in
I
the
remember
independent realm.
because her nose used to be able to move. Now it's
Okay,
just
we'll end on that. What's the best Nicole Kidman film? And it's obviously not
Far
going
and
to be
Away.
anything
Others.
recent. I was Far and Away also. Oh, you know what?
Oh, the others was pretty good. Yeah, the others was pretty good.
Far and Away as a movie, but as far as her performance,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think damn, where'd you dig that up
see
from?
that?
He
You
was
see that?
IMDb.
You see
He
that?
was
No,
IMDb
no, I-
quick
he had it in his
crap
head.
quick
His
to
brain.
prove
Look
to
right
prove.
here. Look at my phone right
his
here.
He wants you to
No,
edit out
IMDb.
Bewitched. He wants you to edit out Bewitched.
I was like,
So
I started going to my files like, come on, man, get a better movie. Come
me a
on, man,
better
come
Nicole
on.
Kidman film.
There's like a whole company back there.
It was hard,
screaming
though.
at
It was
each
hard.
other. They were all screaming at each other. Like, I can't believe you said Bewitched. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Get this man a real movie.
Yeah, that's the Andrews. That's our episode, and more coming. More on the way. Link tr.ee at fan.
I love your
I'm terrible at that.
like you're
I
so
try.
the hope. It's so big. It's so. It's almost like. How do I explain? It's almost like you
I'm
know,
an optimistic
It's like
motherfucker.
Chef's
movie.
Kiss.
watching a movie
Chef
where
kiss.
everybody dies, but the hope is still
Hope is
there.
still there. The hope is still there.
Of,
No, it's
of a
very-
new hope,
Yeah.
it's still there. But everyone dies. That's what it feels like.
Like the hope, like everyone dies, but you still have that hope.
It's there. It's there.
Like the hope is so there that you want to go
it's
back
so deep.
and revisit the people that died,
Right,
and their
right.
stories
Right.
individually,
individually,
all
but they
over
still
again.
die.
But they still die.
But not
the
their hope.
So
carries
Necessity's
on.
Rogue One. Necessity's Rogue One.
It's what it is.
Well, this is Omega saying peace.
MSK, peace out.
Yo, peace, Peters.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.